All right, guys, here we are to talk about the Shannara Chronicles. What is this, episode 7?
Episode 7.
Jesus.
We're getting there. There's 10 episodes of this show.
Yeah. This episode wasn't bad, but it did test some of my hypotheses.
Oh, yeah?
Well, she's wearing a varsity leather jacket at one point.
Oh, my fucking God, shit
and
fucks.
I'm like, I guess fabrics don't. But in fairness, it was potentially sealed off from the world.
Okay. So we're just jumping around. You just watch the episode. We're not going to synopsisize it until maybe later when I've crossed out half my notes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I just had to jump right out and say, because I was saying earlier on, I'm like, 3,000 years, I don't think any fabric would survive. And
Okay.
I also don't understand how this building got buried in the way it did.
Okay, so many things with that. They fall through the roof of a high school gym or something, right?
Yeah.
It's where the prom was set up or whatever the fuck. Holy shit! And I was like, holy shit, because at first you just see behind her head is an electric guitar, and I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. Because remember episode 1 or 2 when they were like, oh, it's actually thousands of years in the future and humans have destroyed the earth. I was like, oh, we're gonna find, and I think we even spitballed some stuff. We didn't say high school or something like that, but we were spitballing maybe they'll end up in some preserved area or something like that.
Because I'm like,
my
oh,
God,
this must be a bunker.
So good.
When they first fell in there, I'm like, okay, they fell into a bunker. Who knows what society was like before this shit happened? But I'm like, no, it's legitimately a high school.
It's a high
school. How
school.
the fuck would that work?
It doesn't work, but okay.
How did it get covered in dirt like that?
Okay, so she makes
without any structural damage.
She makes a comment it was buried during. Well, no, I've heard about these. This happens a lot. They were buried during the Great War or some shit like that, right? It makes no sense. It makes
With
no sense.
Dirt bombs?
Well, because the glacier dirt wave, scraped across the earth and just covered at around building roof height. Just went across.
But that was another problem, is that they fell through this piece of wood and they were immediately into the thing. So there's no dirt really cave between this and that. They were right into the thing.
Right.
So any rainwater and stuff would be just sitting on that forever.
No. And over time, okay, so I can buy that there's stuff buried. I can buy that over time, the distance between what is now the ground and the roof of the buried thing could get very, very thin or something like that. But just from a logistical standpoint, it makes no sense, and that's fine. I'm okay with it not making sense.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole, they're walking around, and there's very artistic beams of light coming in all over the place. It's barely covered, but then they open a door and it's just solid dirt and roots and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to ridicule.
They were
it not
potentially
making sense.
saved from falling to their deaths by streamers.
Yes.
Did you notice this?
It seemed to be streamers.
So when they first fell, you couldn't tell the angle what was happening. I'm like, oh, all right. So ropes and whatever. I'm like, okay, what are they, in a tomb or something? What is this? What is that? Those are party streamers that are slowing their fall.
Yep, you gotta fall through something,
What?
Stefan. And if it can't be tree branches, it has to be party streamers. Otherwise, you would think that they should have been hurt during that fall.
You'd assume a little.
And the fall is higher than it looks from the.
Sure.
Once you're
That's a gym.
Yeah, once you're in the room, you're like, oh shit. But from above, and it's probably like a whole different place. From above, it looked very whatever.
Yeah.
No, so I'm not here to
And
ridicule.
one of them fell twice.
And she's much worse for wear.
Once without streamers.
Yeah, right. If the streamers are the only thing that saved them, she should be dead now from the second time through. No, I really like this though, and I think that they know that it makes no sense because they put in those 2 or 3 lines of dialogue where it's that's ridiculous. This couldn't all be preserved, and she's like, no, it's sealed up, it's preserved. It makes no sense, but when we are critical of these things on shows, we often say, just throw in a line of dialogue. Just give me something to work with here.
Yeah,
Fuck you,
and
or
that's
whatever,
all I generally ask for.
And they did that.
And I'll allow it.
And guess what? I don't care about any of that either, because her in a varsity jacket finding dice to remind her of Will, and I hate that she said it reminded me of you. And I'm like, just let the audience understand that.
I'm gonna predict at one point she's gonna carve the numbers off those dice, and they're gonna pawn that off.
They're gonna be fake,
to give that
fake
to somebody
stones.
else. Yeah,
that would be awesome. No, but her in the varsity jacket walking through the Apocalypse High School or something like that with the fucking dice that she finds. That moment alone, I got so happy from that. Hashtag my aesthetic. Amberly wearing a Letterman jacket, holding fucking dice in an old sealed up high school. Looking at the yearbook, doing all that fucking shit. That's awesome. If you have a world that takes place in the stupid future or something like like that, you have to have something like this in like the
A
past.
link to the past.
And it took so many episodes, and like we finally got this more concrete dumb thing, right?
Sure.
Where they don't know how this works or like whatever. And then like it, plot wise, it even like pays off in this weird way where it was like meant to be that they were down there because they find that article that has the window of like the building and a fucking map to it, which is insane. So they're gonna have this like modern San Francisco subway map or whatever. They're gonna use that to get to like the ancient temple where they do the things. I'm like, oh, it's awesome.
And that does appear to be the route that we were taking here.
Yes.
And I'm not like totally okay with that. Let's just travel forward and then we'll go all the way backwards. So
yes.
they're being hunted by these elf hunters. As our princess is an elf, they want her, and they know that she's of value because earlier on in the episode she drops her sword. They can tell she's royalty. I also thought in my head, screaming, "Run the 1 foot back for your sword! You're still going to be chased in 2 minutes, and now you have nothing to defend yourself with."
I actually, and I normally don't, but I said out loud, "Don't leave your sword!" Like, because I had the same reaction. But then, and like, these are the kind of things that I do have to be critical of. And like want to be critical of because like it's like a writing mistake or something like that. Just have her lose her sword in a way that isn't so dumb, right? It's very easy.
She could have lost it when they dropped into the hole.
It like costs you nothing to have her lose your sword some other way, but you had to make it and then cut to a shot that clearly displays how close it is, and then have her run away, right?
Yeah, she
like,
spent more.
Why
If she
do all
didn't
that?
think about it, she could have just reached and grabbed it.
I know,
and
and the sword's important, and so like.
It's the only thing she has of her father's, too. You'd think she would risk her life just for that.
And the counter-argument is like, well, as a storyline point, we had to have them know that like the sword was royalty. And it's like, yes, but you can do that literally 14 seconds later
also
when she
did not
falls
even
in the
need
hole.
that, though. None of that was required. It
No, it
could have
wasn't,
been,
but-
it could have been like,
Yes.
elf ears. We need elf ears. We lost one today. We need to make our quota.
Okay,
and it would have been fine.
But if you wanted to have
If you
them
desperately
go on
needed
this special
this.
quest, there's many other ways to have her not do that dumb maneuver that happened. It makes the character look worse, right?
It
Like,
does.
why are you doing this?
You're
Fuck.
the chosen one, Annie. Come on.
You were supposed to bring balance to the tree.
It's just, that shows us. So on their way out, after they've single-handedly bested all these fucking elf hunters.
Honestly, though, in like a clumsy, dumb way that I really liked. I don't want to throw shade on things that are actually okay or something like that. Because here, like, they didn't, like, brilliantly dispatch them. It was super goofy and, like, jump on his head and hit him, and then he, like, throws her off. Like, stop it, bitch. Like, I actually liked how it all played out.
I just thought you can look past how they did beat them, except for, like, the leader of the elf hunters. And
oh no, okay, I liked the girls doing it because that felt like a Buffy thing because they're in a high school and there's like punk rock idiots and they're like beating them and all that stuff, and like helping each other and everything. When Will ziplined down and fucking just kicks her once and she falls down, unconscious, I actually thought that was like the worst fucking thing in the world.
From a fucking rock.
From
You're
a
like,
fucking
shit. Rock being like the giant eagle.
Well, yeah. What are they? Dragons, things, whatever. I don't know.
I thought that rock was just a big bird.
It should be. Whatever.
Either way.
Flying.
So he flies in. He grabs all of them. Fly away, and they fly away to leave that girl trapped in there. And she pulls one last arrow, fires it, and kills. Not kills, but like knocks out Eritrea.
I call her
She takes a shot to like the kidney.
Yeah.
And she's laying there. They eventually do pull her out, apparently, and they.
Yep. She's with a pile of, and I really loved that. That's one of my.
I thought that was cool because I'm
one
like,
of my things
I'm like,
at the
oh,
end.
they took a white lawn chair. I'm like, well, they don't have the ability to make those things. It's a lightweight chair. I'm
and
like,
it's
that
like,
probably would be worth a lot.
And it's like one big piece of molded plastic. You can't just do that in like your home, whatever fucking thing. I was like, that's actually awesome. And a fucking globe, like weird knickknacks and like historical artifacts and all that stuff. That's awesome. So they're like. Peddler, like they're kind of like the Rovers, but their thing is like merchant-y peddler bandit, right? So they're like selling elf ears to gnomes, and they're selling knickknacks to like other people.
Patty wax.
That's fucking awesome.
Giving the dog a bone.
I dig it. I really dig it.
Something I thought was weird though, when they first revealed the Rock was in prison, right?
Yes.
So I'm thinking when they got over there, like, oh, my friend's in there, and then you see a creature. I'm like, oh, they fit it to their creature.
Me too.
Then you realize, like, oh, they impromptu built a fucking, like, enclosure for this thing? That's weird.
No, it makes no sense.
So I didn't like that.
And how did they capture him and that creature? Like, what the hell's going on?
A rope.
With a rope. I don't know. And why would they? Aren't they, in this for profits? Don't they just want to take like the path of least? Because that's what I thought. Like we have to make her a royalty because otherwise they'd be like, "Drats, she got away. Back to business, fellas," or something like that. But like, why would they spend all that effort? It's a fucking very dangerous wild animal. Or something like that. I don't know.
But
that's fine.
So earlier in the episode, we pick up right from when they dropped from their mountain cross.
Okay,
there.
so they fell off like the ice-covered caps of whatever the fuck, and now they're
died.
the demon's just laying there dead, looking very small, and
shockingly small.
Shockingly small,
like Will's size.
I didn't mind how small or big he looked before, and you called it out because it was a thing, and now I'm on board, and I hate the size shifting. It has to be that when he gets angry, he gets bigger. It's the only explanation that I could possibly think of.
I didn't like that, but regardless of that, so Will is on his own. The girls are on their own.
Well, and let's just say they like wash down this fucking huge. Like, how far away are they? Where the fuck are they?
Knows, yeah.
They're like wet, but it's not snowing anymore. It's a whole different area. They're much lower altitude-wise, or whatever the fuck.
They fell thousands of feet.
But that's fine, I guess. Whatever.
So Will happens upon a one-eared elf who's trying to kill him, which he thinks that he's one of these elf slavers. He shows him his tips, and they're back to being buddies.
Caught me wee tips here.
Yeah.
That says otherwise.
The girls, our princess is injured. She hit a bit of a rock on the way down.
Yeah.
She's okay, though.
Right. We get into that bonding part later.
They realize that there are bad guys in the midst pretty quickly as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if Eritrea realized that was her ex-girlfriend or whatever right away.
Oh, God, because that was her, right?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
But it was.
Was it her? That's really dumb.
It was her.
Fuck, that is her. That's really dumb.
There's a lot of dumb things here.
So why would she be like, we have to... Oh, well, she was like, you don't understand. We have to go. So I guess she did. That wasn't strong.
That's also just knowing how many, knowing anything about elf hunters, how many there are.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, in retrospect, I guess that makes sense. But that wasn't strongly enough, hit home, pounded home.
So the elf dude happens upon the one-eared elf and Will happen upon the camp. They wait for him to leave. He has a little bit of a freak out when he sees his ear, and he gets a moment of balls, rushes him ineffectively. Will has to save his life, and that guy goes murder zone on him and just kills that dude.
Yeah, so I kind of like that whole turn of events, actually. I thought
that's what you have to do. I don't know how Will couldn't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
You don't have to like murdering people, but if you come across people that you're like, all right, if that guy gets any chance to kill me, he's going to take it. You have to stop that, or else you're going to always look over your shoulder.
That's the whole thing. Like, I feel like a lot of these shows, if we want to talk about The Walking Dead or any of these other things, people take a weird, and I guess it's because of the audience being in like modern times or something like that, but they take like a weird approach towards like, well, if you've killed anyone ever, you're obviously like that, and you're like, no, like it is possible in given the revised parameters of your world to adjust your position on murder or like killing, and not be like a sociopath or whatever the fuck, right? Because literally,
for all we know, demons have children. Will's killed a couple of those.
And like he literally cut off your ear like earlier that day, like the day before, whatever it was, and like would have taken and was clearly demonstrated he's a bad guy.
I wonder if they do kill them though. Is it because like
they just leave him earless?
Because he didn't kill him and take his ears. It could be because he hates elves and wants to hurt them before he kills them.
Wow, yeah.
Who knows?
I like that, and they should play that up more actually too, because she says like you're a disgrace to your race or whatever. Like I like this idea of this racism. Like the Rover King was like they destroyed everything. What do you mean we have to? And all that stuff. Like I like this idea that there's a racial aspect going on because he's a halfie and they have one of each as his lady friends, and it's this weird, versus the world that hates the groups, The gnomes are like, fuck the elves, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that shit.
So what did you think about the two princes? That I was like, kind of saw that from the very beginning, where I was like, okay, the dick prince is gonna die, the good prince is gonna become king. I did not even remember them kidnapping the boy who sees the deaths. Was that something I just missed?
Well, he's not really there. That's like his Alanon tries to give Bandon a crash course in like the visioning questing.
Yeah.
But Dagdamor is like, what the fuck, and takes him and he like imprisons his like astral self or whatever you want to call it, because Bandon's laying there back in Aberlorn and like wakes up after that shockwave like destroys him there.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was like, what did I just miss?
No, and like they get the sword and turn against Al-Anon because Bandon touches Al-Anon, and that's Magdador channeling back through to like infest Al-Anon, and then he like force pushes him and scares the girl, and then they're like, holy shit, the druid's been corrupted or whatever. Yeah. It's the whole thing.
Interesting.
But so it sort of plants the two princes. Fine, okay. He's in, Al-Anon was stabbed, burst into like fairy fire or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was just his like last chance spell triggering or whatever, and he was actually just teleporting back to his cave to try to get healed. He's trying to jumpstart his Healy runes, and it's not working or whatever.
Well, because he didn't get the last word out.
Is that
because he says it's like
fires
of the earth help me,
yeah.
and like smoke of the earth heal me or something, and he's like heal.
No, I noticed that he like got cut off, but I didn't realize that, and it seemed like he was like fuck, like as if he couldn't just try again or something. I'm like, come on, dude, we can do this.
I think he was just passed out.
But he's visited by the Obi-Wan Kenobi druid character,
who's like still alive and can use magic even though he's dead. So like I'm like, can you just call back all the old dead druids to help fight a war here? Maybe you can. I don't know. Are they like the Ghost Army in Lord of the Rings? What's going to be going down?
I hope not. I totally agree with that, but I feel like to hate the show for that type of thing is to hate all shows.
Yeah.
Because that always happens, right? Where you're like, oh, we can just channel the ancient whatevers, and it's like, we could have just done that on day one. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
It's a big risk. You can't always just do it.
You can't just do it, otherwise we might not have a show or whatever. No. So, like, he fucking heals him and also charges him up and also throws some clothes on him. It's a one-stop shop.
Didn't they trade clothes? Wasn't he wearing, like, the Grandmaster outfit?
No. So, like, I did see it like a passing on of, like, all of his power into him, and he gets his staff.
No, I like that. I like that.
That's pretty cool. That character seemed really dumb.
I liked that the Dick Prince died because I didn't like him.
Right,
I wanted him dead. The other Prince I like. I think he'll now take that guy's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, because they had a thing before.
Yeah, that just goes without saying.
And now he's King, the Good Prince.
Yeah.
After all this.
And that's cool.
Yeah, I think we could have called much earlier that he was going to end up being the king.
Oh, yeah.
Because we just didn't think to say it or whatever the fuck.
No.
But, like, yeah. Because they had the whole, like, you will not be my successor. And then, like, the like, a good king who's racked with the good prince who's racked with guilt about everything he's done and has all these complicated relationships with all the main characters is running around. And be like, okay, fuck, I guess.
Who actually understands demons, believes the druid, all that cool stuff.
Is on board 100%, has a good heart and like, a balanced temperament.
Yeah.
Like, yes, obviously.
I loved that the Rock Rider gives him that whistle. Call me whenever you may need me, because at some point when you're gonna forget about it, he's gonna be like, and he's gonna come in there out of nowhere.
But I'll never forget about it now because we do this show and we have to talk about it here, because that's the dumbest shit ever, right? Where he's gonna be like having tea somewhere and hear
I'm hoping though it's like season 3.
Oh God,
like,
maybe.
Make them wait for it.
I would love that, but I feel like this season, very shortly, they're gonna blow the whistle. Who knows? But yes, I like shit like that. I do like because it fits with this genre. That's what always happens here. Wish upon this. Take this coin. You need this from me for later. Like shit like that is fun. Yes, it's cool. It's cool because it kind of teases that he'll show up again, and that's a good thing.
No, and I like that character. He seemed cool. Once he put his hat on, he seemed like a much cooler character. And I was like, oh, cool.
He did, and because I actually really like when that happens, where like a character gets back their sword, their hat, their horse, whatever, and they change sort of how they carry themselves, as if like, okay, good. Because he seemed really panicked and like wide-eyed and like fucked over, and then he's like, okay, nope, I'm back on my shit.
Well,
I did 6 passes. I don't see anything. They're using the trees as cover.
Like if you're a canine officer and lose your canine,
exactly.
you're just a dude.
Yeah. So I like that sort of reassure, like, maybe it's easy to do, but sometimes they don't always do that, and it's just, it's a little thing that I noticed that I like to say is a good thing or whatever. We talked about.
What else you got note-wise here?
Well, they mention he says like when the elder Yoda druid shows up to like give Al-Anon all the business.
Business.
Al-Anon's like I'm tired of them not believing the truth.
Yeah, I'm ready to die.
I just want to go be with you on the other side and die. And he's like, no, bitch. In fact, another has risen and he needs you or whatever. And I think that's Bandon, right? That's the implication.
Presumably.
So that's weird because Bandon's an elf, and I thought based on all, everything we've seen, humans are like the druid people, and like the elves are like something else or whatever the fuck. But apparently it's not.
Or the other could be Will.
Okay, cool.
And Will's half human, so that.
Interesting.
It could be anything.
It
could be someone we've not even met yet that has just arisen.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like another druid that Al-Anon had to train to be a druid. And I thought
It's possible.
since he was already training Bandon with some of that stuff, and he alluded to the fact that someone else had that vision ability and like amongst
Oh
the
no,
druids.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
it's a little
No,
early
that's
to
totally
know. It
true
could be
too.
a
But
lot
I
of
hadn't
stuff.
thought of that. I'm like, fuck, that's totally possible too. I don't like there being more than one possibility, Steph. I like one
I
possibility.
like multiple possibilities.
Yeah.
It means I could be disappointed in multiple ways.
We could just tenfold because you like. There's multiple possibilities. I bet it'll be like a fourth thing that I hate. It's like, all right, sweet,
Sure,
fucking
Scooby-Doo
awesome.
will come in.
Scooby-Doo will show up and Scrappy Doo all over that motherfucker. We've basically touched
Yeah,
on
that's kind of the
main
episode. If
points,
anything
I
we
feel
forgot at
like.
this point, not super important. The girls did admit they both love the same guy, i.e. Will.
Oh, I'm glad. Okay, so like the one thing I was hesitating to even mention was we got some bonding time. So do you remember that scene 1 or 2 episodes ago where like they're in like the pool and she was gonna kiss her and it was this weird fucking thing or something like that? And now like they're alone. Oh, you know I have to look at that wound. I'm gonna put this jacket on you. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Something's happening here. And then luckily, no, they just sort of bonded and talked like you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And did admit, like you're saying, like we finally have something in common. Both orphans, both have hots for the same guy. Tee-hee. And then Will like super hugs at Amberly, but then goes, oh yeah, and like super hugs her. And I'm like, oh shit, what's going on here? The love trapezoid is closing in on itself.
It's true.
This is
gonna
dope.
be interesting.
This is dope.
It's gonna be interesting.
Well, see, I'm a human and an elf, so that's not cheating because she's a human and she's an elf. That's how it works,
It's
ladies.
just called a sandwich.
Let's go. It's just called a delicious Will sandwich. Who knows about what fan fictions have already been written and like drawn about this fucking
I'm
show
sure
by this point.
since the books.
Goddamn. So yeah. Dag Damore is upset he was imprisoned again somehow or something like that, but that'll be
temporary. Yeah.
The Demon Army was like MIA though.
Yeah,
We think that they've moved
I
out?
thought that was all part of the setup from getting the princes to come in. I was like,
yeah.
all right, they'll all be like under the ground or something, and they'll all
Yeah.
spring up and kill both the princes right now or some shit.
Yeah, they don't need like 300,000 things to kill 2 dudes.
Well, insult to injury is usually the way to go.
But so where are they? What do we think? Are they like visually hidden?
I'm sure they're in March.
They're on the way, right?
Have to
so
be.
where this is all building still to that fucking epic battle. Where Elf's
Yep.
gonna be stoning people, and Alan's gonna like swing his staff now, and just a bunch of dudes are gonna go flying like he's Sauron from the fucking whatever.
Probably.
The
And then
battle in my head
trolls
is
are gonna
much
come
better.
into it. It'll be the battle of the 4 armies or whatever from Lord of the Rings.
I hope
Or
so.
the 5 armies, whatever that fucking shit was called.
20 armies.
You know.
Oh, the Ents are here. No, that's cool. I hope that they are saving money up, and I hope honestly we have some disappointments coming up, building up to like an awesome finale. Because I feel like we've been on board for long enough. We deserve it. There's some good shit that could fucking happen.
I'm
Down with it.
I want to see the Scoundrel King come back.
Scoundrel King.
Yeah, the Rover.
the Rover King.
Yeah, because he left away.
No,
He'll have
because
to
he's.
come back. He's good.
I actually, I was gonna start writing down like episodes where Rover King is just chilling on the mountain, one, and then just keep doing it until the end. Because I do think he will show up again too. But it is funny that he was just chilling on the mountain, like, oh, I have to walk. Fuck, they got the fucking fast track down the mountain or whatever.
True, but presumably, as far as he knows, they're dead too.
Exactly. So I wonder how he's even going to be thinking about or handling that, because there's no reason to go look for any of
But
them.
he will unite all the Rovers. They're going to fight on his side. The Troll King guy's going to reunite all the trolls.
Yep.
The elves from the Four Lands are going to come together.
The 4 armies.
Yeah, we're gonna
ride
see
again.
an epic battle, presumably.
No, it's going to be
If
it's
it
gonna
actually
be okay.
culminates in this season's end and not like
It
continues
fucking
to
better,
go.
because they took. I feel like there's been a long time between the seasons or whatever the fuck, right? And like it switched companies or
Probably.
something like that.
Something
So,
weird happened.
I hope there's some sort of closure going on here. I assume we're done, because last thing.
Yeah, that's about
Last
it.
thing.
Drop your last
fucking,
nuggets.
after bringing up the whole thing about the theory from last time,
Sure.
I wanted to say some stuff
What do you got?
about that. So I actually paid more attention in the credits right now,
Okay.
and I think it supports or maybe destroys parts of the theory, because when like the blood comes down, it says human or whatever the fuck,
Okay.
and then it says gnome, and then it says dwarf, and then it says troll. It does not say elf or demon. The elves and demons are some other thing.
Interesting.
I don't know how they fit in or whatever the fuck, but it's not that weird blood root chart of like the races or
Interesting.
something. I don't know what that means yet. Also, we know we have found our like first historical landmark or whatever, and there were no skeletons or dead bodies or anything like that.
Yeah, they weren't there when it happened.
Well, it happened, and then they like pieced out before they could clean up. So something happened.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not be paying as much attention to this as I am. as they're
That's also fully possible.
as they're going to reveal it. But it's weird to me that
that streamers are up and nobody's dead.
Something happens suddenly that they have like that they had to leave, but the prom's getting cleaned up by like 2 a.m. or something like that, right? So like this is a weird thing for me.
Yeah, fire alarm could have went off. They could all evacuate right in the middle.
That's what I mean. So there could be a whole, I'm not saying it like makes it impossible or like it doesn't work out now or something like that, but it's just a thing that I noticed or whatever. Real quick, last thing.
Last.
I also really enjoyed them fighting with those bandits because in Fallout 3, did you play Fallout 3?
Part of it.
When you leave the vault in Fallout 3, and everyone's story is like different after you leave the vault. The first place that I ended up was a school that was taken over by bandits.
Perfect.
And it was me doing that, fucking hearing the bandits be like, I can hear you out there, back when I thought the game was a lot more robust than it was or whatever. So it was super dope to have like the lockers and the fucking like, desks and then like a dude come in with like a crossbow because I literally have fond memories of that.
Flashbacks to the Nam.
Yeah. I started seeing, all right.
All right, guys, so that's this episode. Until next week, don't die in a fire, and we'll see you then.